I just got back from the range and man, did I have fun. Out of all of this stuff here, this might be my favorite gun that I own. And you can tell why from the intro. This thing is just absolutely incredible. So when I got it, this is the MP5K. This is a Turkish MP5K clone. And because it's a Turkish clone, I told you guys when I got it that we would document the first 1,000 rounds on the gun. And after the first 400 rounds, L2 Prints sent me a super safety lower so that I could get the actual capabilities that you want out of an MP5 or an MP5K. And it is absolutely amazing. But when I took it out for the first time with the super safety lower is when I got the first malfunctions on the gun. The thing is though, is I didn't really follow the directions. I put the lower on and I just started slinging lead. And the thing is, with an MP5K, you're supposed to tune it, especially if you run suppressed, especially if you run heavier ammo, and especially if you run it in super safe mode. And I've been running it suppressed with heavier ammo since the day I got it because, I mean, how are you going to have an MP5K and not run it suppressed? And if you're shooting suppressed, you want to run subsonic ammo, 147 grain, right? So what you're supposed to do is switch out this. This is the locking piece. And I've been trying to look up what locking piece this gun comes with. And it's either a 100 degree or 110 degree. And what you want for heavier ammo and shooting suppressed is a 90 degree or even an 80 degree locking piece. Like a sewing machine. So I've got this thing running absolutely perfectly now. I mean, it's pretty much flawless. And that's what you want. You want reliability. There's no point in having a go fast mode if it makes your gun unreliable, especially a gun that had no malfunctions before I ran it that way. And you see, the more I looked into it, I'm actually lucky that I haven't damaged this thing by running it suppressed with 147s with the original factory locking piece here. You see, with an MP5, it's not like an AR. With an AR, you have this buffer tube, and inside that is a spring and a buffer. And you can change out springs and buffers to tune your gun, whether it's overgassed, undergassed, if you're shooting it suppressed or not. And so I have my ARs all tuned for shooting suppressed and for the type of ammo that I normally shoot. So it only makes sense to do the same thing for this. And the thing is if you don't do that on an MP5, you can actually damage it. You see, this is roller delayed blowback, which is a very cool system. There's some rollers that interact with this locking piece here. And unlike a direct blowback AR9, the rollers actually lock your bolt in battery. When you fire, they keep your bolt in battery until pressures drop to a safe level before letting the gun cycle. So it's roller delayed. And that makes for a really soft shooting gun. But if you don't have the right locking piece for the way you're running it, suppressed with heavier ammo, you can actually get those rollers can dent your gun. And I'm glad that didn't happen with mine before I switched to a 90 degree locking piece. I actually looked for an 80 degree. HK Parts doesn't even have a 90 degree or an 80 degree in stock, but I found one from AS Designs. This video is sponsored by Venice AI. If you're not on the AI train yet, you are missing out. And you know what? I was one of those people missing out for a very long time. I'm always kind of a late adapter to these things, but AI is honestly amazing. The stuff that you can do with it is absolutely incredible. It's a very powerful tool for just about anything in your life. I keep finding more and more amazing things you can do with it. The thing is though, is that things like ChatGPT and stuff like that, they're actually stealing your information and they're selling it. The former director of the NSA is on the board of ChatGPT. That's not a good thing. You know, Google and stuff like that, you know, Facebook, whatever, they listen to you and they advertise to you based on what you say. Well, what else are these things doing with your information? They're selling it to third parties, including governments. you don't, especially if you're a 2A person, you don't really want the government listening in on your conversation. So that's where Venice AI comes in. They're a full AI platform, but they are private and permissionless, meaning that they don't sell any of your information to anybody else. It's totally private. You get all of the benefits of AI without those downsides. So you might as well try it out. Now, if you use my link, that's venice.ai/sawtooth-tactical, you can get 20% off on your pro plan. The pro plan is the way to go. There's just a ton more that you can do with it. You can use all the tools that AI has to offer. And I mean, by now, AI can do so much for your productivity, for your organization, your creativity. Just check it out. It's amazing what you can do. Again, 20% off with code sawtooth-tactical at venice.ai/sawtooth-tactical. MP5K clone. In fact, Turkish MP5K clone, we're asking quite a bit of it, running it suppressed with a super safety, and there's certain things that you're supposed to do to tune it correctly. Now with an AR, you use buffers and springs. With an MP5K, you use locking pieces. So we've installed a 90-degree locking piece in this, and I even bought more expensive mags. That first magazine was an actual HK mag. This is the Mac mag. We'll see if it works as well. Let's try it in semi first. We haven't done that yet. Okay, let's go to super safe. Yeah, it runs. Besides the locking piece, one thing that really matters with MP5s are the magazines. Now, this Mac has treated me really well. It's actually been really, really good, especially for the money. And I'm asking quite a bit of it. Running it at, full speed, suppressed all the time. And, this gun, it's got a denial block welded into it. It wasn't meant to be ran at full speed. Now, of course, it is meant to be run suppressed. It comes with a tri-lug adapter here. Tri-lug is awesome. Normally, I run it with the suppressor in the full-length configuration. This is the Resilient Ramblin' Man, and it's a modular, multi-caliber suppressor. So I've got the 9mm end cap on it. And today I just decided I wanted to run it in the short or K configuration. K gun, K suppressor, keep it nice and compact, and just see, what it sounded like. And with 147 grain, it sounded really good. Not nearly, well, I shouldn't say not nearly, but not quite as quiet as it does when it's in the full configuration with this added piece onto the end of the suppressor here. The whole point of a 90-degree locking piece, one of these comes with either 100 or 110 degree. I had a hard time finding out which, but 90-degree locking piece in an MP5K is for running suppressed and for running heavier ammo. Those first couple mags were 147 grain flat nose subs. These are 124 grain. Let's see how they run. This one is with an MKE mag. Seems like it runs well. So the thing runs great, but the magazines, like I said, really do seem to matter. And while this gun seems to be of extremely good quality and very reliable, for a Turkish clone, I'm extremely happy with it. I'm not sure I could say the same for the Mac magazines. Now, it came with a couple of them, and then I bought some more of them. And maybe it was the time before this that I was doing a video, because like I said, I'm documenting the first 1,000 rounds on the gun. I was showing how you do a HK reload, where you lock it back, drop your magazine, insert new magazine with the bolt back, and HK slap, because you generally can't seat a full magazine on a closed bolt, and there's no last round bolt hold open. Well, at that time I only had these Mac mags, and I tossed the empty one on the ground, and when I picked it up, one of the feed lips had broken off. And that was the first time that magazine had been tossed on the ground. Keep in mind, this gun only has 800 rounds on it so far. And at the time, I think I was getting to 400 that day. So it was still pretty dang new. Other than that, those magazines ran great in standard semi-auto. Once I started running it in the fast mode, I started seeing it choke a little bit. Now, for the most part, it still ran pretty good, but I replaced that magazine with an MKE magazine. And I just noticed with the Super Safety Lower that it seemed to run perfectly with the MKE magazine and only had any malfunctions with the Mac magazines. So, to test this theory, I went out and I bought actual HK MP5 magazines made in Germany. Now, these are much more expensive. They're more than double the price of the Mac magazines. And if you look at them, like, they're the same damn thing, right? They're actually not. So, the German mags, I mean, they just feel smoother. Yeah, these Mac ones are breaking in a little bit. Not so bad. When I got these were tough to even fit 30 rounds in. They're easier now, but the HK mag was perfect from the get-go. Same with the MKE magazine. So getting good magazines makes a big difference. If you are going to run your MP5K with a super safety, which I highly recommend, I mean, this is a subgun, right? The MP5 and the MP5K, you might as well have subgun capabilities, not just semi-auto pistol caliber carbine. And we can have subgun capabilities 100% legal. It's not full auto. And I think that that is very cool. But you want it to run reliably. And you want to not damage your gun. So, if you're going to run, and especially, I mean, you're going to suppress it. All the things. This is what you want to do with one of these, I promise. For the best shooting experience. Quiet, soft shooting, and fast shooting. And extremely controllable. I mean, this is a very easy gun to shoot extremely quickly. And it doesn't take much to make it super reliable. 90-degree locking piece and expensive German magazines. Another Mac mag here. They've actually been running great since I changed the locking piece. We're running the Resilient Ramblin' Man in the K configuration today. Just because I was running it long, wanted to try it short. 124 grain. We're going to see if it'll reliably just run the whole mag dump onto steel. Yep. So we're now at 800 rounds on this thing. Probably the next time I take it out will be for the 1,000 round review, because you go through rounds very quickly with the super safety. It's just like, it's hard not to just shoot a whole mag real fast. But that's also the beauty of the super safety in a platform like the MP5. You see, I've got a super safety in the Mark 18 as well, and in this 11.5-inch PSA AR. And they're great. But shooting 5.56 at that speed is a lot more expensive than shooting 9mm very rapidly. And so you just feel a little bit less guilty with something like this. And with the roller delayed blowback, the recoil is ridiculously easy to control, which just makes it a hell of a lot of fun. This gun is a ridiculously good time to shoot. So if you're gonna do something like this, if you're gonna set up a gun like this, I do at this point, and we haven't got to the 1,000 round review yet, but I do recommend this Mac 5K. I just recommend that you do a few things to make it perfectly reliable if you're gonna run it with a super safety or a forced reset type trigger. And those things are, you know, okay, yeah, the German mags are expensive. These are like, dude, like $85 magazines. Luckily, I know a guy. Thank you, Cody. You get them a little bit cheaper, but still expensive. This thing I think was like 40 bucks. This is actually the original one. The 90-degree locking piece is in the gun. And as you see from today's footage, it ran great. But it did take changing out that locking piece. And when I was shooting today, I did try multiple weights of ammo. I shot a lot of 124 grain, a lot of 147 grain, and I shot the Mac mags, the HK mags, and the MKE mags. MKE and HK gave me zero issues. And actually, the Mac mags ran great with the 147 grain. With the 124 grain, they ran great too, but the only, if you could consider it a malfunction that I had today, was with the Mac mag, where I was just dumping a whole mag. I thought it was all good and I thought it was just done. And when I went to lock the bolt back, it ejected a live round. And there was like 2 or 3 rounds left in there. So dropped the bolt, fired again. And same thing, I wouldn't even call it a dead trigger. It just stopped running for a second. And when I pulled the trigger again, it was all good again. Only happened with the Mac Mag. Not sure if it's a Mac Mag thing or if it's even just me and the amount of pressure I'm putting on the trigger. But the pressure on the trigger hasn't seemed to matter with the super safety in any of the guns that I have them in yet. It just is what happened today, and so I got a report on that. Otherwise, I do think it is worth spending a little bit more on higher quality mags and getting the correct 90-degree or even 80-degree locking piece if you're going to be running it suppressed. If you're going to be running heavier ammo, which if you're running suppressed, you want to run subsonic ammo, then you don't have to wear Ear Pro. That's pretty awesome. And it also, what it does, so when you add a suppressor onto a gun, it adds back pressure. It actually makes the bolt cycle faster. So the 90-degree locking piece keeps your lockup a little bit longer before it allows the bolt to cycle, slowing down that bolt speed, slowing down the cyclic rate, which again is what you want for super safe mode. So the Mac Mag so far is the only one that I've had a malfunction with. Now, no stoppages as far as like stovepipes or double feeds or anything, just that it kind of stopped and then I had to shoot again. Hasn't happened with the MKE or the HK mags. Back to the HK mag. This one seems to run fantastic. 147 grain subs. See how she goes. This thing is starting to get a little dirty. She runs. So I've got 10 rounds left. We started today. We're documenting the first 1,000 rounds on this gun. We started at 600. This will make 200 more and we will be at 800 rounds on this MP5K. With the super safety, we're going through those rounds quickly. The biggest piece of advice that I can give though is to go out and get one of these things. Put a suppressor on it. Put an L2 Prince super safety lower on it. I do recommend the L2 Prince lower because it actually looks like the original lower. I mean, this thing came with an SEF lower with this, and all that. Looks pretty much the same, so it maintains that HK MP5K aesthetic, which to me, the aesthetic is very important with a gun like this. Otherwise, you might as well just run a direct blowback air. I mean, yeah, the roller delayed blowback is nice too, but an MP5 is also just very cool looking. You want to kind of maintain that cool look, right? But I do recommend getting one of these. It is like the most fun you can have with a firearm legally. It's freaking awesome. When I first got into this, I never thought that I would be able to own a gun like this. An MP5K that does actual MP5K things, meaning that third go fast position. Meaning suppressed, meaning exactly this. It's a dream gun, just like I said in the last video I did on this, and it really is a dream to shoot. This thing puts a smile on your face, like, immediately. It's fantastic. So, let me know down in the comments, do you own an MP5 or MP5K or a clone of such? Which one do you own? How reliable has it been? Do you have a super safety or an FRT? Do you run it suppressed? What weight of ammo do you run? What mags do you use? And what locking piece are you using? It's a lot of questions, but let me know down in the comments what your secret sauce has been for perfect reliability, because this has been mine. 90-degree locking piece, HK and MKE mags, suppressor, super safety. Pretty freaking awesome. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. Make sure you subscribed, and from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.